welcome to Old Chums Geek Chat. I'm your host Jay, and joining me as always is my co-host, the Wizard Sleeve of Wonder, Captain Colin Coftry.
Expelliarmus!
How you doing, Colin? Had a good week on lockdown?
Jay, you know, me being a super duper wizard and all that, yeah, it's just like being stuck in Hogwarts, my house.
I bet.
Yeah.
And people might notice that there's a third face on the screen this time. We've got a special guest on. He fisted hard, but he couldn't fist them all. It's Rob Nathan.
Yeah.
Hey. How you doing, Rob? Look at that collection behind him. Look at that. So just for people,
just one corner.
One corner. It goes on for miles. So Rob is an old friend of mine, and I've known Rob since we were about 16. I think we were 16, right? And going back all that way, because we're now in our 40s, going all that way back when we first got our PCs and we had AOL. And I remember pretty much straight away, once things like eBay and stuff like that turned up, Rob was on it straight away. And he's like looking for, what was it? It was like wrestling figures at that time, right? At the beginning?
Yeah, it was wrestling figures back then. A friend of mine introduced me to eBay around 1999, 98, 99. And then obviously it all started from there.
He became an addict.
Well, being able to find figures that you've never seen before from America, you know, and having them being able to import them from all sorts of places, it was just unbelievable.
It was
so that's where it was
as well, right? It was much harder to do the import. And I remember you were always, I'd come around and I'd go around to his house, and he always had like some new like figures, like, you know, up on his wall or something like that. And then I'd come around the next week, like, oh, where's that figure? No, I sold it. And I've got one coming. And it's like some like exclusive, I don't know, you know, one you can only get at Comic-Con or something like that coming in, right? So yeah, Rob, like, so at the moment, I'd say your main collections are what? Your Funko Pops and like your Master of the Universe stuff? Is that what you'd say your main? Because you collect a lot of different stuff, right?
I do, although I do try to keep it sort of down to certain brands and certain types of figure. My main collection consists of Funko Pops, which I have a love-hate relationship with.
Why do you have a relationship?
Just because, like, you know, we had loads of Funkos from sort of 2010, 11, and we sold about 100 of them, and they were really old ones like Rocky and stuff like that. Rocky now is worth like 300 quid. The original Heat, you know, so Georgina was into Funko Pops. I wasn't into them.
Georgina,
and as they started, Georgina's my wife, and as they started to get a bit more diverse and a little bit more, you know, detailed, and then they started covering more ranges, I really liked them. But I made this thing where I didn't like collecting human Funko Pops. Right. I'm not very keen on them because the likenesses and, you know, so I made a point of mainly only collecting Funko Pops that were like cartoon characters, video game characters. I don't like stuff, with all due respect to other people, like Game of Thrones Pops, where there's or Harry Potter Pops, there's just human faces, unless it's like a face with makeup on or something distinctive like Voldemort. They all look the same to me.
Or Carl Weathers from Happy Gilmore, or Bob Ross, which are two that I really want.
That's oh yes, funny you should say that. Yeah, I've got Bob Ross sitting here with me. Well, he's behind me. If I could ever bloody find him from about 250 Funkos, then I'd put him up to the camera.
You had actually, so that's covered that base there.
Well, about 240 at the moment, but now you've got me looking. There we go.
Hey. Awesome! I want that one.
So this one's like just a common. You know, again, you get quite addicted because you get the common ones like this, and then you get ones of him with like a squirrel, because he was a nature lover, wasn't he? So you get ones with him with like the squirrel, and then it's like a Chase exclusive, which is worth more. And that's how Funko.
So I've heard you mention that a few times. What's a Chase? Why is it called a Chase exclusive? What is that?
Oh, well, just basically because, you know, people chase after it, and it's and what happens is with chase figures, Funko release, say, 20 commons, and out of those 20, there's one chase figure that's slightly different. So Funko may have shipped to a distributor, may have shipped 40 of them, 60 of them, 80 of them, 100 of them, then there's 5 chase ones in that 100 case, something along that line. And then those 5 are the most, where will go up for $9.99. The chase one will go up for $24.99. And we lost Colin.
Okay. So what are some of your favourites at the moment? What are some of your favourite Funkos that you have at the moment?
Jay, we're all right, are we? Yeah, we're still back on.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, you did freeze for a second. I was about to say so, but it's all cleared up now. So people just get a nice look at your face for a moment. What are some of your favourite Funkos at the moment, would you say?
My favourites are the He-Man, because obviously my He-Man are my saviours. So I love my He-Man pops. I've just got 2 very exclusive ones, which I'll show you.
Awesome.
The first one is
show and tell.
The first one is a Triclops exclusive.
Sweet.
So he's a new one. He's an exclusive, a new Comic-Con exclusive. And then we've got also from the same con, we have Slime Pit He-Man. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. It's a little bit reflective. Apologies. So we've got those 2 at the moment. Those two are my favourites. My favourite pops at the moment.
And you got Merman recently, right?
Huh?
You got Merman recently as well, didn't you?
No, I've had Merman a while. I've got 2 Mermans. Again, there's a Chase Merman. There's a Chase Green Merman, and then there's a normal Merman. He's the green one, and then there's the Chase one, which is the blue one, which is more like the Filmation He-Man cartoon. So they know what they're doing, and that's why Funko I kind of got addicted to it. They release these Comic-Con ones you can't get over here, that you can't buy in Smith's Toys. And then I get very sort of passionate about, trying to find the Chase one or something. I mean, they do some really cute stuff, Sometimes they'll release something. I'm like, I've got to have it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'll give you an example of that. I've got, they'll do their own, Funko will do their own creations. And they released this one. It's just an udon noodle cup. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And it's called Noodle, and he's a Funko exclusive, as you can probably see. It says, Pop Culture. That's an Australian, they're an Australian distributor. Unfortunately, they kind of do call this range Spastic Plastic. Which I find kind of, and my son loves to say that. And he's like, oh, you're getting another Spastic Plastic. And then my wife goes, don't say that. He's like, that's the brand.
What can you do?
Stuff like, I know. They do stuff like this. It's very cute. And what I'll do is get him out, and all of a sudden you find them and you're like, oh my God, these are fantastic. So there he is. Look, he's got his chopsticks.
That's brilliant.
Got his little, so he's from Cup Noodles, He's like, they've made him from Cup Noodles. And you just think, oh my God,
Amazing.
And then I go and spend 30 quid buying it from Australia
on a noodle pot.
Rob, the important question, Rob, is: do you have any Star Wars ones? They're the ones I want to know about.
He has got a nice one, actually. I just saw the other day.
Yeah. Now, obviously, my love for Star Wars has, I have a love-hate relationship with Star Wars. Whereas,
like Jay.
Yeah. Now, over the years, like Jay will tell you, I watched this film since I was a baby, and everything, and there's a lot of love for Star Wars, but there's also, as a lot of people are in turmoil over certain elements of where Star Wars has gone. However, I try to see it from at the moment, I'm enjoying The Mandalorian, so I really the iconic figure of him riding that blurg was really cool. I really love that. Really took me back to like the old Star Wars. So I discovered that they did a pop of this, and I will attempt to get it.
Without knocking down everything else.
So we have here.
Whoa.
We have now. They've really heavily armored this. The plastic is.
I looked this up. I might buy this. I might buy
Mega
this.
big.
So there he is. It's. I was going to say it's Boba, but it's not. It's Mando, not Michael
It's
Mando.
Jaren.
Who?
Oh, he hasn't got that.
Get it out. Do you want me to get it out? Do you want me to
Sure.
get it out?
Sure. If you don't
Get
mind.
it out.
Get it out. Get it out.
Get it out. Get it out.
Pull out your man.
There's going to be a lot of clear up jobs.
Pull out your Mando.
And there
Oh, he's a bobblehead as well.
Hey.
they have to be bobbleheads. They have to be. For some reason, every Star Wars one has to be a bobble. So there he is. Now look, you can probably see they've done some amazing work with this helmet. You see the sand grains on him.
Yeah.
You see the sand. Yeah, they're putting got all the little grains of sand that you actually can feel it. It's tiny little bit grainy. The blurg is really well detailed.
Yeah, brilliant.
Sorry, I'm losing my shit now. Sorry.
I've got to say, Rob, I'm loving the passion that's just coming out of you as we talk about this. It's just like, oh my
god. Rob, how much does that sort of figure cost then? How does that set you back?
You will get this for, people can try and rob you. It can, some are charging 40, 50, but you can get it for $29.99. It's not too bad. It's only going to go up.
Wow.
It's only going to up. It's only going to go up in price. It's an exclusive. It's a bigger pop. As you can see from the boxes compared to the others. It's a bigger pop.
It's a mega pop.
It's a mega pop. I bought it. Now I have to buy, obviously, the child. And who wouldn't? So I need to buy a child because you can't have a Mandalorian without the child.
It's the way.
So
this is a way.
This is the way. It has to be.
Okay. Well, actually, this segues into a question I had for you, Rob. So, as you said, that one's going to go up in price. So, I mean, we all live pretty much near each other. So there's Smith's Toys here, and Smith's Toys. When I walked in, they had loads of Funko Pops. Now I've only got a few Funkos, and behind me I've got just two sitting here. I've got a few more. I've got a Doctor Doom, and that Deadpool I ordered online. That's the 80th anniversary X-Force one. But if I walked into, say, Smith's Toys, someone who doesn't really know, but they're like, you know what, I wouldn't mind getting a few Funko Pops, but what would you look for if you were looking at them and going, that will go up in price? How would I go in and find one that might be worth something going down the line?
It's harder now because Funko are crapping them out at an unbelievable rate. Now, all the iconic stuff that they've done, He-Man, Back to the Future, Rocky, you needed to be really observant back then. Buying Rocky, Apollo Creed, Ivan Drago, and Mr. T, that's £1,000 set now.
Right. Yeah.
And that is, you'll go online. If you find a full set, you'll see someone's bidding on it. It might be on $869 with 3 days left, and you're like, Christ, I can't sort. I'm not spending that money.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, in that respect, most collectors have missed the boat on those kind of pops. Now everything that's coming out is going to be less and less likely to go up in price. You want to look at the chases, though. If there's anything you want to look at, if anything's going to go up in price now, chase figures.
Yeah, right.
So
this Mando's not a chase one, though, right?
It's not a chase, funnily enough, no. But because it's bigger and it's more expensively priced by Funko already, then people in the know kind of know it will be more of a difficult one to get, because generally certain people don't want to spend £25, £30 on a Funko, and some people have already. That's right. Now, the Mandalorian, he was released at the Comic-Con last year. As well, I believe at was it San Diego or was it New York? He came out at a Comic-Con, New York. He came out at New York Comic-Con last year in October. on his own, and I didn't get that one. And I'm like, now, you go on and it'll be 40 odd quid. So what I'd say to people is look for chases, look for those kind of things. Commons now are usually going to be worth diddly squat even in 5-10 years time.
Right.
You've got to go with the chases. You've got to go with the Funko shop stuff like this, their own exclusives that they do. And that's how you get more sort of value out of your money. But the people that bought the good iconic stuff 10 years ago, they're the smart ones. Even the He-Man that came out, he's worth £100 now. But what happens is now they've released the Battle Armor He-Man, and he's not worth anywhere near as much. But the original He-Man, which looked a bit pap, to be honest, it didn't look great.
They've got better as years gone on.
Yeah, but the original He-Man and original Skeletor are worth a lot of money.
So speaking about He-Man, I mean, like, firstly, I'd just like to say, I've never been a big Pops guy, but in recent times, seeing some of the ones that Rob's shown me, there's been a little bit of me going, oh, I kind of want that. But going on to He-Man now.
Would you like to see a Pop completely priceless, completely and utterly priceless, and you couldn't put a price on it?
Go on.
And I'll give you an exclusive now. Nobody has this Pop in the history of the universe. Okay.
How have you got the only one?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Is because I won a competition. With Morrison's, and this Pop.
Ah, yes.
It's signed by all the cast members of Infinity War.
Yes.
So wow.
So this is obviously Tom Holland's signature is on the front. You have who's the guy that looks like, I keep forgetting, I always forget his name. The guy that looks like Luke Skywalker, looks like Mark Hamill.
You got the Winter Soldier. Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
Sebastian Shaw is dead Darth Vader.
Right. So with this, we've got Tom Holland. We've got what's his face, Loki.
Oh yeah.
Tom Hiddleston. We've got the
Thor on there.
Baldwin. What's his name? Brolin.
Josh Brolin.
Thanos. Yeah, we've got the guy that played. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. signed it, but there's about 7. There's 7 or 8 of the cast.
That's cool, man.
My wife's got the full list of, but you can't, they just basically, Morrison's grabbed them on the red carpet and they went, can you sign this? 7 or 8 of them signed it. Very lucky. We have it. I wouldn't even like to say what it would go for.
What did you have to do to win it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. My wife enters a lot of competitions. They asked her, she applied, she put a picture of my son up with holding an Infinity Gauntlet or something. She's very clever the way she does it, and her entries stand out a lot. They picked her, and that's it. It's in our collection, and it's incredibly rare because obviously it's one of a kind.
Yeah. Just for any dodgy geezers out there, it's kept in a locked safe behind 50-inch lead wall and all that kind of stuff in the vaults beneath the ground. So don't be getting in there.
Well, this place is actually separate from my house, so obviously, it's quite well secure.
The bunker,
and
a bunker.
Yeah, obviously, I've got the heating on in here today. Look, they are. It's an incredible thing. They have oversaturated the market with Pops. However, as I say, some come out and I just can't stop myself buying them. So
yeah,
go on, Colin.
I was just going to say, it reminds me a lot of like comics in the 90s when, everyone got into it and all of a sudden they stopped becoming as valuable because it's all gone mass market. But obviously, and so like, again, I would say like my advice with comics is always just buy the ones you want to read. Don't worry about whether or not they're going to be worth any money. Buy the ones you want. And I would imagine with Funkos, it's a similar sort of strategy.
I think that's the case these days now as well. Although I've got to say that the Chase one that you showed me of Carl Weathers from Happy Gilmore, I want that just because it's the one where he's got the hand that's all broken, and I love that. So I have to have that one. I love that so much.
Yeah, I know. The normal Chubs is okay, but you've got to have the bitten off hand Chubs. You have to.
So, Rob, I just want to, we were just going to touch on Funko Pops. What I really want to say to you is, so you also collect the new He-Man figures, which are they're the new versions of the old ones, right? Is that
kind of yeah? There is a new section of He-Man figures out. They're called the Club Grayskulls. They've been Super 7 have been producing them. Although Mattel now have won the license back, and they're the only people producing a new set of He-Man called He-Man Origins.
Oh, that's good.
I've seen these new figures. Pixel Dan, he went to a toy. I think he went to New York Toy Con. He was kind of the first guy to premiere them. I wasn't keen on them. You can look them up. They're a mix of vintage with a bit more articulation. I wasn't too keen on their faces. They were okay. Wouldn't turn my nose up at them. However, I've been focusing on obviously I've got a vintage collection. So I do have the older stuff.
Sweet.
So this is a pretty good condition He-Man. So I do have the older collection. I've been collecting He-Man classics, which came out from 2010 onwards to pretty much almost. And they're the ones that do pay homage to the old classics, but they are highly detailed and sculpted. Now I've got quite a lot of these figures. They're worth an absolute, small fortune. When you look at ones like this, it's incredibly rare. Scareglow. He never came out on the show, but he was a character created by Mattel in the 80s. And this is the newer version of Scareglow, which is again worth money. But if you've got a vintage Scareglow, even the loose ones go for over 100.
Wow.
Wow.
He's an exceptionally rare find. But those are the figures I really love to collect. One of the most expensive ones is Fisto. I've got
he
Fisto
fisted hard, but he couldn't fist them all.
so an extremely rare one as well is Shadow Weaver. She's the Shadow Weaver version is incredibly hard to get. But shall I move my laptop? Shall I show you around the room a bit?
Yes, please.
Let's do this quick. We're kind of getting towards the end of our time, but yeah, let's have a little look at your collection then.
We've got to see the collection, Jay.
Oh yeah, we'll see the collection.
So if you can see up here, these are the Filmation versions of some of the. So you can see Moduloc, Man at Arms. There's a Prince Adam, Roboto. These ones are exactly true to life to the cartoon.
I'm very happy that you have Roboto next to Moduloc.
Yeah, I have have them all in sequence there. Obviously there's the classics, the vintage collection. But also, as I said, some of the newer ones I like are the classics, not the vintage. And Beastman. We've got Trapjaw here, Cobra Khan, Merman. A lot of them have different heads that you can chop and change. There's Ram Man.
A good version.
Yeah, a really good version. And then obviously we've got a few here. We've got Orko, Stratos. Yeah, Prince Adam and Adora. He's looking a little bit pervy with her, actually. And we're up here. We've got a few separate ones here. Hordak, Mossman. And then if you come down here, I've got a couple tucked away here. I've got Skeletor.
Stinkor,
Stinkor. So
I don't think a Skeletor would allow Stinkor to stand that close.
No.
So what I'd say to people is there's a lot of Masters of the Universe collection to collect. The Filmation version that Super 7 are doing, the old classics, which are still relatively new, but very hard to, very expensive. The vintage figures don't go for too much on eBay. You can start yourself a nice collection for a small price.
What's the average price of those Super 7 ones, roughly?
Those they range from £45 to £60 a figure. They are high end. They are adult collector figures. Well, the Modulock I paid 64, the Roboto I paid 35 for. You know, so you've got to shop around. And you know, as I say, it's I had more of those, but I got rid of some because I was investing in some of my classics. But hey, if anyone wants to check out the new He-Man stuff, I believe it's He-Man Origins. So
Rob, it's been great having you on. I mean, we're running short on time now, and so hopefully you'll be willing to come back on, because I think we could talk about toys just for hours and hours and hours. So I mean, I can tell you definitely could, and you've got enough there to talk about.
And it's all right if you send us some pictures so we can put them on our Instagram and on the Facebook group. Okay?
Send us some photos of some of those that you've shown today.
Yeah, I will. And if anyone wants to follow me on Instagram, my screen name is Pops and Lots. So that's POPS and AND Lots, Pops and Lots.
Brilliant.
Like lots and
Jay's
lots.
going to put it down there for you.
Yep, I'm going to put it down here. And Rob, he posts pictures of all different figures every day, but he also does a little in his story, he does pop of the day, and he's kind of like goes around the wall and then finds one randomly and zooms in on it. That's quite good. So it's quite good to watch that one. All right, Rob. Well, thank you very much for joining us this week.
And brilliant, mate.
Brilliant.
Well, it's been awesome talking to you, man. All right.
Cool. You guys, I'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye.
See ya.
Take care, man.
Bye.
All right, cool. So that was good talking to Rob. So you've had a bit of excitement this past week, haven't you, Colin?
Well, yeah. I mean, Rob's not the only one who plays with toys. I play with my PS4, and it's been a week. It's been extremely exciting, but also extremely sad in the fact that, because obviously being a massive Star Wars Battlefront II fan, we finally got the much delayed Battle of Scarif update, which completed the whole Age of Rebellion updates that they've been doing the past 2-3 months. But we also got the news that basically that's it for Battlefront 2 as well. I mean, it's pretty much
this is the last update, right?
This is the last
final
update. Yeah, they've committed to keeping the servers on and all that, but there won't be any more development on the game or any changes or any updates. So it's pretty sad, you know. It's the end of an era, and I guess what's the real sad bit is that we haven't got anything in the works either. There's no Star Wars games in development. The only thing potentially is a follow-up to Jedi Fallen Order, but because of the state of the the license holding of EA, they've only got it for a few more years anyway. So not long enough to commit to developing, say, Battlefront 3. Or, you know, they've
said
how
that
no
they've got no plans, right?
Yeah. So basically, because we know they haven't got that long left on their contract, with no games in planning stage. I mean, I think they'd squeeze out of Jedi Fallen Order follow-up. That shouldn't be too hard to do. But apart from that, that's it. And so it's a real bleak time for Star Wars games. Yeah, you know, and
but maybe, I mean, either Disney will renew the contract with EA, or we might get a different.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying
which I think would probably be better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not saying that they're not going to be making any more Star Wars games, but
they will.
But of course, we don't know. You know, for the next couple of years, we've got really nothing to look forward to, and they don't exactly come out quickly, do they? These games. So just quickly going back to the actual Battle of Scarif.
Yeah.
So basically, the update is basically completed the game now. As you're aware, they very much moved away from the original Galactic Assault mode, which was the big multiplayer campaign mode, multiplayer mode, to replace it with this Supremacy mode, which came into play with the Clone War era that they started creating, and that was very much going back to the old Battlefront 2 and game from the old PS2, PS2.
The one I liked.
Yeah, where it was very much you had to capture the command posts, and then there was an element of being able to go up. Then once you capture the command post, you go up into the capital ship, which isn't quite the same as how it was done on the old Battlefront 2, because you can go back and forth and do what you wanted, which was amazing. But that was great. And then they introduced co-op, which is basically 4 versus 4, but with a load of IAs supporting you, which is
AIs even.
Yeah, even AIs. Yeah, sometimes it depends whether you're in the mirror universe or not. And so, to me, that's perfect for me because you get more chance to play the characters you want to play because you're not competing against 20 other people to get the characters you want. And
Yeah.
if you're not as brilliant, which, you know, I'm not brilliant at it.
I heard you were the best.
Huh? Well,
I heard you were the best.
I'm trying to be modest, Jay. I'm trying to be modest.
Oh.
But no, I'm not really. I'm not that brilliant. I'm okay at it, but I got a couple of number ones. Anyway,
I did see that. I've seen that posted on your social media a couple of times.
Yeah. You know, it depends who you're playing, but it's really good. And it's particularly good if you're doing a party with friends because like 4's a good number. And you like just last night, me and a couple of guys that I met at Star Trek convention actually were doing it, which was a bit of a crossover. So that was pretty cool. So you've got now you've got all 6 fractions and eras. You've got the prequels, the rebellion, and the resistance era, and you can play as either side. You can do it so that it goes to all of them, or you can just stay in the particular areas you want to go into. That's both on Supremacy and co-op. They've also beefed up all the instant action stuff. So now, if you want to play offline, you can do the co-op mode and capture the command post and do all that on your own and do it. So it's basically just finished off the game now, so I don't need to support it. If you can still play it with your friends, you can still play it on your own. They've put the modes in there. I love playing in the Rebellion area. You've got near enough all of the Rebellion maps now that we wanted. The new Scarif map is basically a refix of the one from Battlefront 1, so it's still a good map. I've only played it on actual Scarif a couple of times, but it seems like good fun, and they all work really well in the new modes. So yeah, it's just I would definitely say if you haven't played the game for a long time, it's probably worth going back to because there's so much more to it. And the one thing that's always impressed me with this game is there's so much to it. I mean, you forget how many different modes there is. There's Strike, there's Ewok Hunt, there's all the hero games where you play Hero Showdown or all that kind of stuff. So there's loads in it, and like I say, you can get it for about 20 quid these days. So just get it, and then play me on it.
I have heard a lot of people say that the game is far improved, and I do like the sound of Ewok Hunt.
Yeah,
that does sound funny. Yeah. So. That's cool, man. It's good that you're enjoying that one. So for the viewers, anyone else playing? Like, what do you think of the new Star Wars Battlefront II maps? And also, we'll probably touch on this next week. But what do you think of the future of Star Wars games? Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. Also collections. What are you guys collecting? Anyone into Funko Pops? Anyone into some of the He-Man toys that Rob spoke about earlier, or anything else? Let us know what you're collecting. Drop some photos underneath.
Does anyone want to come on and show us?
And does anyone want to come on and do a show and tell?
Yeah, we want to see. We want to see what you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be a collection. You can tell us about things that you love reading or things you like to watch. If you're a fan of something, if you're a geek about something, we want to know.
We want to know all about it. So. Yeah, just drop us a line. You can either do it underneath this video would probably be the easiest way for us. But you can let us know anywhere on any of the places where you can find us, which is a nice little segue into the end of the show.
Oh, it's such a great segue, Jay.
It is, isn't it?
Brilliant segue, and I love you for doing that segue. And I'm just trying to find my notes now.
I've got the notes here. Don't worry. Oh. So you can find us on Facebook at Old Chums Geek Chat, and there's a tiny URL for that which I've posted here. You can also get us on Twitter at Old Chums Geek CH1. We're on Instagram, which is at Old Chums Geek Chat, and we're on email at oldchumsgeekchat@gmail.com. You can also find us on the TaylorNetwork of podcasts, a place where you can find all kinds of wonderful podcasts. Colin has a couple of others on there, Mighty Marvel Mix, the Doctor Who TARDIS podcast, I think you appear on a couple of others from time to time as well, don't you?
I'm a popular man, Jay.
You're very popular. So if you want to see more of Colin, and I'm sure you do, then, look him up there. Colin, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Crappy Cardboard Cosplay, or you can get me on Twitter at Captain Colin.
And you can find me on Instagram at SpartanX1 or on Twitter at 1933Eagles. So that's it for another week. And until next time, old chums, farewell.
Till all are one.